This person here says, does WWE top brass really think ratings do not matter? And how low do they go before USA starts asking questions?
I'm sure USA is not thrilled with what they got, but
I got to say this about USA very quickly before you go any further. So they got a deal coming up here, 2019.
Yep.
And I can't remember who sent this to me. It might have been an email or a text or something like that, but somebody noted what people don't think about a lot is that WWE is on an escalating deal. So they're being paid more each year of this contract.
While delivering less.
Exactly, while the ratings are snowballing downwards.
They're going down at a pretty fast clip.
Yeah, so when they go into the next negotiating period, I mean, USA has got to say, I mean, they've got to take into consideration, why would we be paying these people an escalating deal if they're down 30% since we signed the last deal?
Oh, they'll be down way more than 30% since they signed
Yeah,
the
that's
deal.
today. So if let's just say 40%.
Yeah, they're going to be down a lot more than that by the time that...
Yeah, what are they going to be offered? I mean, they're going to be offered another escalating deal where they're going to be promised 3 years from now X amount of money, like 3 years of escalating rights fees for a product that's down 40% since the last deal got signed. It seems impossible.
Nothing's impossible because you just don't know what the climate's going to be at the time, because there's people in TV who might be really scared and feel that we need to keep WWE because... The one thing is, even with its declines, it's still one of the higher rated shows on cable, and and you lose that, and like the profile of the station, not so much the profile of the station, but the weekly ratings of the station will go way down without WWE. I mean, they'll go from whatever they are, like whatever it is, like number 5 to number 13. They'll be an also ran station, just another station. So. And it's a scary thought if you're running that station. So you don't know. But if the station, if bundling gets stronger and you start or cord cutting, I mean, cord cutting is overplayed, but the bundling is kind of underplayed when people talk about all this. There's a lot, there's so much stuff. I mean, there's enough facts out there on a daily and weekly basis that it's just weird to me that everyone kind of like makes these things and ignores them, and they're right out there.
Well, I mean,
and then get mad because the facts don't suit their purpose. But the thing is that you could still be really valuable even with the decline because of the fear that everything in television is going down.
You're right, but...
And it is.
But, hold on. So, there has to be a point.
Well, there is a point
where we already know the ad rates for wrestling are terrible.
Yes.
And they're down 40%.
Yes.
And, I mean, there has to be a point where, I mean, 5th place or 13th place or not, you're losing your ass on this deal.
Well, you're still looking for the profile of your station. You could... there's so many different ways to look at it.
There's an economic point where you're losing your ass.
Of course there is. Of course there is. Yeah. I just don't know what it's going to be and when it, and everything like that. It's because the reality is that all these sports haven't necessarily all been going up. Some have been going down, but their rights fees continue to escalate. Most are.
Well, maybe they make a lot of money on advertising. I mean, maybe they're not exactly. Maybe they're not losing their ass because of the advertising revenue that they can derive, which WWE is not getting.
Yeah, well, you are right about that. That's true.
And whatever they are getting, I mean, 40% less people are watching the show. I mean,
at the same time, NBC has managed to get a better quality of advertiser to spend less money on WWE.
Wow.
But they because they worked through it because NBCU, I mean, they know that they're devoting 5 hours a week on USA, which was their most profitable station. I don't know if it still is, but it had been for years and years. It was more USA is actually more profitable than NBC, or was. I don't know if that's the case today, but and because of that, I mean, it's imperative that they convince the advertisers that don't run from wrestling because it delivers a lot of people. The thing with the wrestling, you know, it's that younger audience. Is where they're losing so much, and that's, you know, and there's reasons for it, but don't, the reasons are in many cases that they're not as interested in wrestling as before, and that's a big part of it. So I don't know, as far as, but again, anyone who tries to predict what's going to happen in 2019 in the television business, I just like say, go ahead and predict, but none of us know. And actually, the thing that will probably be a big target to find out is the UFC deal, because UFC's a year ahead. And if UFC goes in there and can get a big increase, then it's probably not that bad for WWE. But if UFC goes in there and they don't get an increase at all, I think that it would be very bad for WWE. So we'll have a 1 year head start on that story.